Good afternoon. My name is Wilson Pelaez. Today I am going to explain a little bit about what psychology means. In general, we can say that psychology is a science that studies the mind behavior. Specifically, when I say the mind behavior, we are tying this throws us to the neurons. And what's going on right there? You might ask or you might think about it, but what it really goes is that the neurons, it has a really good connection with the study of the psychology. It helps us a lot in order to know that the neurons are they're the fundamental units in order to help us to understand mind behavior. The reason is because those are neurons are the small cells that they are responsible for receiving the sensory input from the external world. So what happened is this is the mind, and those are it comes the neurons, and it sends the message from the outside of the world, and it contracts the muscles, and it's receiving and transforming those information, the electrical signals. They go every steps, and if I will ask myself, what is the brain? Or somebody asks, what the brain is it then? Well, I can say that the brain, it is composed about a lot of small cells, but in general, there is a central organ of the human nervous systems, and it is also connected with the spinal cord, and that is what makes us our central nervous, our nervous systems. In general, I can say the brain consists of cerebrums, brainstem, and the cerebellum. What is the function of these three parts of the brain? The first one I could say that it also controls the most activities of the body, the way I move, the way I react, and all the coordination of my body, and the way I walk also. And those are the organs that will send the instruction or send the message to my body. If I move, my spinal cord and my organ system of the nervous system, it will send the message to the muscles, so that way I can start moving quickly or slowly depending on the reaction of the environment. The brain contains a lot of, it's also contained and protected by the skull bones. So all the three parts of the body, it's protected by the skull of my head. What it means, for example, if I hit my head, I might have a little bit of numbness. It depends of the strong heat. For example, if I get an accident, that we're not waiting to occur that thing, but in case if that happened, I can lose control of my mind or my brain. But if it is a small hit, it is not gonna damage a lot, but it's good to take care of those things. Okay, and that occurs when receiving the message from the outside. And for example, if it was a hit, I receive the message, and what the message is to protect our brain, start to protect from the whole body, and it's also protected by the skull of my head. And according to what happens between that movement, I can say it also that my brain, for example, as I said, if I will have an accident, there comes a billions of nerve cells that it arrange in patterns to coordinate the movements, emotions, behavior, and sensation. And when I talk about sensation, I can say that if I touch something hot with the tip of my finger, that will send a message like in a matter of a second, and it will transfer to my brain, and my brain will recognize if what I touch it was hit, it is hot or cold. For example, if it is an ice, I grab a little bit of ice just with the tip of my finger, I will touch it, and now the neurons send the message by the sense organs, and I receive the message, or my brain receives the message, and it contracts the muscle, and it sends the message, oh, this is cold, or this is hot. It depends on what I touch. This process, when the neurons send the signals to special contacts, and when it happens, that signal in a matter of a second, that is called synapses. And the synapses is being understood as a junction. It's like the union of two cells, nerves, consisting of like a space. For example, this is a neuron and this is another neuron that it is being connected. The gap, it's sending messages. Like for example, if I touch if I put my hand right there, like that, I can say that if it is being closed, I can still feel a little bit of like kind of nerves, or I can scratch my hand after I do that because I feel like something hot, and I can say that is like an energy that passing through it. That's exactly what happened when the neuron sends the message, and that is called synapses. Typically, that information, it's like more like a chemical synapses that occurs between the neuron and when receiving the message, and also the sending the message, and that has become the connection between the synapses. It's been said that there are three different types of neurons. The sensory neurons is the one that as I explained a little bit before, saying that if I touch something hot, my sensory neurons, the small cells that get the message, in a matter of a second send the message back and say this is hot or this is cold. We also have the motor neurons, which is another classification of the neurons. What happened with the motor neuron? The motor neuron is has the cell body is located in the motor of the cortex. Like I can say this is the brain, and it comes and sends a message from here and is sent into the spinal cord, and that is like the axon of the fiber that projects the spinal cord to the outside of the brain. And also we have the next classification, which is the interneurons. Basically what it is that the one neuron connects with another neurons using specifically the sensor. So it connects one to each other, and that is called interneurons. And we don't find those things in other part of the body, but we also find it in our brain. For example, in this part right over here, we can find the interneurons. It says that it's being found only on the brain and the spinal cord, exactly right over here at the end of that space. And that's I think that's all that I understood about how psychology works in our body. Thank you very much for paying attention to this presentation. Happy afternoon. Goodbye.